If you want to learn how to change oil on a 2016 Honda Civic or a 10th generation, which stretches between 2016 and 2021, then stay tuned. This video is for you. I have a 2016 Honda Civic. This is the EXL version. It has the 1.5 liter turbo engine in it. Now this is the two-door coupe and it's due for an oil change. Now I thought I'd depart from my other videos of photography and technology and bring you along for the ride. I occasionally do videos like this because I recognize that there's probably a lot of other people out there who want to learn how to do their own maintenance of some sort, and in this case it's changing the oil. You know, times are kind of tough out there, and it's not so much about saving the money as it is about doing it right as well. So with that said, I'm just going to jump right in, come along for the ride, and hopefully this will help you out. The first thing I did was bring the car up on ramps, and you can see them right here. Now I didn't do anything to the back side of the car, it's just on the ground right here. And whenever I change oil, I find these ramps to work out really well. Now you don't necessarily need to use the ramps. You can use a jack along with some jack stands. I've done that before. But again, I just find the ramps are kind of quick and easy to get the car up. Underneath you'll see that there is a protective plate right here. It just sits right underneath the engine. And there are some basic screws. They're just around the edges right here on the right side and then along the left side. And you'll see that there's a couple here on the top. But I've got my screwdriver. It's just a flathead. And these are just quarter turn screws. Yeah, these don't come out, they just kind of sit in there, which is fine. These screws up front, at least the ones right here, use a Phillips instead of the flathead. And these, as opposed to a quarter turn, are just a full screw out. Now once all the screws are out, the ones here in the front and all around, this protective plate will just kind of slide right out. There's some hooks around the edges and it just kind of holds it in place. Just move it a little bit and it'll come right out. I'm going to take a quick minute to go over some of the tools and some of the gear you're going to need just to move forward. So obviously you're going to need oil, and what I'm using right here is the Kirkland brand. Now this is the full synthetic 0W20, which is required by this 10th generation Honda Civics, and many vehicles use the 0W20. I'm not overly concerned by the brand. I've been using the Kirkland brand for many years and I've had zero issue with it. And keep in mind, Costco doesn't make their own oil. They actually get this from another major brand. You can do some more research on it and you'll see that nonetheless this is just solid oil. So get any brand you want, but you're going to need full synthetic 0W20. What else do we have? Well, I've got the trusty ratchet right here, and I like to use a 1/2 inch. And you're going to need a 17 millimeter socket. This is used to take the drain bolt out. The other thing that I have, which, you know, I think this is kind of it's kind of debatable as to who uses this, but it is a torque wrench. If you don't have a torque wrench, there's many DIYers out there that just say get it snug. The torque rate on this bolt is 30 foot-pounds, so I like to torque everything if I can. It just keeps me in spec. That's what I do. The other thing is the filter. So this is a SuperTech filter, and I like SuperTech. SuperTech is the brand that Walmart carries. Obviously Walmart doesn't make their own oil filters. This is made by another major manufacturer that is located in the great state of Illinois. So it's a solid brand, solid product. Again, I've been using this for many years and have no issues with it. This is the ST6607. You can use Fram, you can use whatever you want. Just know you're going to need an oil filter. I also have a drain pan right here, so drain pan of any sort will work. And this is just you know, wherever you want to dump the oil. So I have a drain repository right here, or oil repository I should say. And you know, I can do multiple oil changes, throw it in here, and then you run this down to like an AutoZone or an O'Reilly's, and they can dispose of the oil for you, which they'll do for free. So that's always good. There is one more piece, and that is this right here. This is a crush washer. Now, I don't know, it's good practice to replace the crush washer every time you do an oil change. You can get these on Amazon. I'll post a link in the description below if you're interested. to just grab a pack of these so you have them handy. I've done a lot of oil changes where I haven't replaced the crush washer, so I don't know. It's a good idea to do it if you have it, so that's what I've got. Let's jump right in. Drain plug right here, and you can see this is the oil pan. Now the drain pan right here, it's going to be a little dark. I got some light here, but you want this pan to be not directly under but a little in front, because when we release this bolt, the oil is going to come out like so. It's going to be like a little waterfall. So it's just something to think about and keep in mind. So again, this is a 17mm socket. Got it hooked up to the wrench right here. We're going to put it on and we're going to pop this off. There we go. 30 foot-pounds is not, it's not a whole lot. It's not that strong. So you shouldn't have to muscle this thing off. And that thing broke free fairly easy. So now I'm just going to untighten this with my fingers. And when I get this out, it's going to want to pour out. Now you may want to have some towels nearby, just some shop towels, paper towels, whatever you got. And let's get ready. Let's take a quick look at the drain plug, and I want to show you the crush washer. This crush washer is meant to compress up against that oil pan. And I don't know how well we can see it on the video, but it's got a little lip on it. And the replacement washer is right here. So you can kind of see on the replacement washer it's completely flat. There is no lip on it. But again, if you don't have a replacement crush washer, I have used these before. You know, I've just reused them. So, you know, again, it may not be the best idea, but I've never really had any problems with it in the past. I don't know that I would continue to reuse them time and time again, but that's your call. We'll put our crush washer back on. Again, this is the new one. And now it is ready to go. So this plug's been off for just a few minutes, and you can see we're just right down to a drip, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and just put the bolt on, but I'm just going to finger tighten this. Now, it's important you don't cross thread this. So when you finger tighten, if something doesn't feel right, just take it back out and tighten it again. We're going to take a look at the oil filter, which is right over here, and we're going to go ahead and pull this off. First thing I'm going to see is if I can just loosen this up by hand. All right. Yeah, she doesn't want to go. So the previous mechanic, whoever worked on this, they tightened this down pretty good. If you use a filter wrench, there's a lot of them out there. They aren't too expensive at all. You can get them at AutoZone's, O'Reilly's, things like that, maybe even Walmart. Now, if you're looking at this and you're wondering, well, how does that work? Well, again, you got this loop right here, and you've got this, you've got kind of this torque point on one side. So if I put the loop onto the filter, and sometimes you need to loosen this up a little bit, but it looks like we're good, actually. And you get this torque point, which gives you leverage, and you know you want to turn it in the direction that you're going to loosen it. There you go. And you just pour it out. Before we put this filter on, I always like to put just a little bit of oil right around the seal here. This helps to create a nice seal. Before we put that filter on, you just want to have a look at where the filter sits. And you want to be sure that the old gasket is off. Sometimes when you take those filters off, it might be a portion of that old gasket sits on there, and that creates a problem because the new gasket won't seal. You can take your finger and you can just kind of feel along it, and there shouldn't be anything rough. And this is nice and smooth, so we know we have no obstructions. So we're going to take this up to the point that it's snug. I'm going to put a little muscle into it. That's snug. I mean, without me super muscling this thing, that's pretty good. I like to grab my filter wrench here and put maybe just another quarter turn on it. Now that we have our filter on, I'm just going to come back to the drain plug, and I'm just going to loosen this up again and see if we got anything left remaining. And then we'll put it back on, and we will torque this down to 30 foot-pounds. See if we have anything else that comes out here. Hey, you got a little bit. Let's get this torque wrench on. Now, if you don't have a torque wrench, just use a regular wrench and snug it up. But you do not want to, or you don't need to, super tighten it, because 30 foot-pounds is really not much at all. So we're going to go, and I don't know if you've ever used a torque wrench, but you'll hear it click when you get to the torque. There you go. It's time to move topside. So we're looking down on the engine, and now we need to fill oil. Right here is our oil cap. I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. And if you ever forget what type of oil, right there on the cap, it'll tell us. 0W20. Just going to put this off to the side. And I'm going to grab a funnel. Now you can use a funnel, any funnel that you want. I would advise that you have a funnel as opposed to just trying to pour it in. This is the 1.5 turbo. This takes 3.7 quarts of oil. Now the 2 liter takes 4.4. Now you may not drain out exactly 3.7 or 4.4, but it'll give you a rough gauge of how much to put back in. So let's just start pouring. I know I have about 2 quarts in this container, so I'm going to need this plus another. And I have another container sitting off to the side, so I'll make good use of that. I'm going to just kind of estimate what I think I need. And I'm going to go a little shy of it. And I'm going to do that because we don't want to overfill it. So this is your dipstick. And it's got the orange handle on it. You're going to pull this out. And get yourself a little shop cloth of some sort. And let's wipe it off. And when you're properly filled, it should land between these 2 dots right here on the orange tip. So you want to take this, you want to dry it off really good. You want to put it back in to the hole, push this down, seat it all the way, pull it back out, and look at the tip. You do this a few times until you get to the top line here. And that looks good. We're right there at the top indicator. So we're in good shape. This may go without saying, but be sure you put your cap back on. And you don't need to over tighten the cap. Just put it so that it's nice and snug. Back under the vehicle, we just want to take a look and be sure we don't have anything leaking now that we have all the oil in it. Everything looks dry all around the filter here. And then of course our drain plug right here, just be sure that's nice and sealed and there's nothing coming out. That looks good. So we're all set right here. What we want to do now is just go ahead and start the car up for a little bit, let it run for a few minutes, and then we'll check the oil, top it off, and we'll take another look underneath just to be sure we're dry. Then we'll put our plate back on and we should be good to go. With the bottom plate attached, we're going to take a look here using our dipstick at our oil level and see if we need to top it off and maybe add just a little bit more. Dry it off nice and good, and let's put it back in. Remember to push it down all the way so it's fully seated. Pull it out and take a look. And it looks like we could definitely add a little more. Looks like we're closer to the hole at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and get our funnel out, put a little more in there, and top it off. It looks good. The last thing we want to do is reset the oil life indicator. And when you turn your car on, which I have it on right now, you're going to hit your I or info button over here. It's on the steering wheel. You have the different options here that you can cycle through. And you want to go to the one that's the wrench. And so I've got it up right here. I'm just going to hit the source button right here. It's kind of like the enter key. It's going to take us into the maintenance, and you can see that we have a maintenance item, and it says B1. I don't know how well we can see it on the video, but there's only one maintenance item. Again, it says B1, oil life. So what you do at this point is just hold down the source button. Again, it's right here where my finger is, kind of like the enter key. I'm just going to hold it down for about 10 seconds. And as you do this, it's going to give us an option to reset the different maintenance indicators, and we only have one. Again, that's B1. So here it is. Now I can hit cancel if I just want to go back. I'm hitting the up arrow here, or the up portion on the steering wheel, And it says item 7 only, item 5, item 4, 3, 2, 1, item B only. And B only is what we want because that is the maintenance for the oil. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And there you go. It says reset complete and the oil life is now set to 100%. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you decide to get your hands dirty and change the oil on your own vehicle, hopefully this has given you the courage to do it. It's really not too difficult, and when you think about it, you're just draining the oil out, changing your filter, and putting oil back in. It's really not too difficult, but it is important to ensure you stay on top of it because it's a vital component to the overall engine. Without oil, your engine will seize up, and that's not a good thing. Now, I always look to the manufacturer of the vehicle to determine how often you should change the oil. And in this case, for Honda, in this particular Civic, I believe they say 7,500 miles to 10,000 miles. Keeping in mind, this takes full synthetic. One thing you don't want to do is lapse on it. And don't get overly concerned about the particular brand of oil or filter. I've used a lot of different types, and I haven't had a bad experience with any one particular brand. Now that's just me, and maybe that's the experience that I had. So, don't be too concerned about it. You can go with Fram, or Pennzoil, or Kirkland like I've done, or Supertech. Whatever works for you, just go after it. Now if this video has helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave your questions in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. It's called Real World. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.